Welcome back to Marketing News This Week. Here's the theme going on in marketing circles. AI tools are getting more powerful and more accessible, but consumers are getting more sophisticated about detecting which brands are cutting corners. That tension is playing out in four major stories this week. First, Google just made a quiet change to search that could devastate your organic traffic, and it has nothing to do with algorithm updates or rankings. Second, a new consumer survey reveals genuinely surprising data about email marketing. One finding completely flips what most marketers assume about younger audiences. Another one could change how you write subject lines starting today. Third, Apple and Google just announced a partnership that will reshape mobile commerce. And finally, professional creative tools just became accessible to everyone, which sounds like good news until you realize what that actually means for your competitive advantage. Let's break it down. Story number one, Google AI mode is killing clicks. Google is testing a change to AI overviews that could massively reduce traffic to publisher sites and brand websites. When you see an AI overview at the top of Google search results, there's usually a Show More button. You'd think clicking that would expand the overview and show you more sources, more links, more websites to check out. But that's not what's happening anymore. Google announced in early December that when you tap Show More on certain AI overviews, you're getting pushed directly into AI mode. That's Google's full AI chat interface where you can follow up questions and go deeper on the topic. But here's the problem. The entire search journey now stays inside Google. I had this happen to me in a search this past week, and I didn't even miss going to websites because I could keep asking questions and it kept giving me answers easily. Let me read to you what Google's Robbie Stein said when announcing this. You'll continue to get an AI overview as a helper starting point, and now you could also ask conventional follow-up questions in AI mode right from where you are. Translation, we're going to keep you in our ecosystem and answer all your questions ourselves. Search Engine Land covered this in December, and their headline was blunt. Google tests pushing searches from AI overviews to AI mode. The article points out that this large Show More button won't load any more sources or details. And here's the data that matters. An Ahrefs study found that AI overviews can reduce click-through rate for the number one organic search result by a whopping 34.5%. That's already happening. Now imagine what happens when the Show More button doesn't give users the option to see traditional web results. According to a survey from Digital Third Coast in late December 2025, 41% of users still prefer traditional Google search, but 33% now prefer AI overviews. Only 8% prefer AI mode so far, but that number is growing. And get this, 35% of people said they'd purchase products or services recommended in AI overviews and AI mode based on the recommendation alone. Google launched AI mode officially in May 2025, and they've been aggressively pushing it ever since. They've been testing and they've added plus signs, new links, different entry points. They're testing it globally on mobile as well. The message is clear. They want users inside AI mode, not clicking out to websites. One more thing, Gartner predicts that by the end of 2026, traditional search engine volume will drop 25% as users move to AI chatbots and virtual agents. I was recently talking to a friend who is the CFO of one of the largest digital publishing companies on the internet with hundreds of millions of visitors a month, and he said their organic traffic is getting crushed across all of their online sites. We're watching this deterioration of organic traffic play out quickly, in real time. Your marketing move in 5 steps. Stop thinking about SEO the way you did 2 years ago. You need to optimize for how AI systems understand and reference your content, not just how you rank in the links. This is called GEO, Generative Engine Optimization. Here's what that means tactically. First, structure your content so AI can easily extract answers. Use clear H2 and H3 headers, definition lists, FAQ sections, step-by-step instructions. Second, get cited. AI models pull from authoritative sources that demonstrate expertise. Make sure your content has author credentials, data sources, and original research or insights. Third, understand that zero-click searches are the new reality. Build brand awareness and trust even when users don't click through. That means showing up in AI answers consistently, being quotable, being credible. Fourth, capture demand across the entire funnel. If people are getting answers from AI without visiting your site, you need other ways to reach them. Email capture, social presence, remarketing, brand partnerships. Clicks alone won't save you. And fifth, monitor how AI systems are representing your brand. Set up alerts for when your company name appears in AI-generated responses. If an AI is getting your value prop wrong or missing you entirely, that's a visibility problem you need to fix. The game has changed. Adapt now. Our second story in marketing news this week: what consumers actually want in email marketing. Backstroke, an email marketing platform, just released a consumer survey that reveals what people want in their inboxes. And some of these findings will surprise you. Let's start with the biggest myth buster. Email is not dead. Not even close. And younger audiences are actually the most engaged. 31% of respondents check emails multiple times a day. 70% check at least daily or several times a week. And here's the generational split that matters. 67% of people aged 18 to 29 check email multiple times per day. That's Gen Z. Compare that to just 22% of people over 60. So if you've been told that Gen Z doesn't use email, that they only communicate via Instagram, DMs, and TikTok, it's not completely true. They're checking email constantly. Campaign Monitor backs this up. 81% of Gen Z check their email daily, and over 2/3 primarily read it on smartphones. The difference is that the younger generations are way more demanding about what they'll engage with. They scroll fast. They evaluate content in seconds, and they can smell inauthenticity. Statistica projects 4.8 billion email users worldwide by the end of 2026. That's 400 billion emails sent daily. eMarketer says 7 in 10 consumers prefer getting communications from brands via email over any other channel. Now let's talk about what gets opened. The survey tested different subject lines. The winners all leveraged FOMO. Unwrap joy, exclusive deals just for you. Don't miss out, last chance. Why wait before they're all gone? These got selected by 40 to 46% of respondents as the type of subject line they'd open. Research shows that using FOMO tactics like limited time offers, low stock alerts, and countdown timers can lift email open rates by as much as 22%. Here's where it gets interesting. They tested emojis and subject lines. Overall, emoji subject lines beat plain text 52 to 48%. Narrow margin. But when you break it down by device, look what happens. About 60% of iPhone users preferred emojis, but most of Android users preferred plain text. Think about that. If you're sending the same subject line to your email list, you're potentially alienating a huge chunk of your subscribers based on nothing more than the phone they use. If your email platform can segment by device type, you should be testing this immediately. Here's the one result that may surprise you. The survey tested subject lines with slang, like the fire emoji, it's going to be lit, summer sales start soon. Respondents, especially Gen Z and older consumers, flagged it as feeling AI generated and not in a good way. It felt fake, like a brand trying too hard to sound young. The lesson? Don't try to be something you're not. Your audience will see through it instantly. Now let's talk AI and email. 61% of respondents said they're likely to engage with AI-generated content from brands, and 85% said they use AI tools themselves, with 45% using them daily or multiple times per day. But here's the contradiction. When asked to describe brands that use AI, people chose words like innovative, future-looking, and aspirational. They also chose lazy, risky, and suspicious. A YouGov study from this month found that only 26% of Americans trust AI in retail. 33% actively distrust it. Women are more skeptical than men. Trust is slightly higher among younger consumers and higher income groups, but skepticism exists across all demographics. And get this, survey respondents couldn't reliably identify which content was AI generated. That's where we are in 2026. AI is becoming invisible when it's done well, but when it's done poorly, people can feel it immediately. Your marketing moves. First, segment your list by device type if your platform allows it. Run A/B test, emojis for iPhone users, plain text for Android. Track open rates and click rates separately. Second, audit your subject lines for authenticity. If you wouldn't say it out loud to the consumer, don't put it in your email. Third, double down on FOMO when appropriate. Create genuine urgency with limited time offers, early access for subscribers, or low stock alerts. But don't be fake. People see through manufactured scarcity. Fourth, if you're using AI to write emails, use it to scale personalization, not to replace strategy. AI should help you send the right message to the right person at the right time. It shouldn't help you blast generic content faster. Fifth, remember that 67% of Gen Z are checking email multiple times a day on mobile. That means your emails need to load fast, read clearly on small screens, and respect their time. Get to the point, make your call to action obvious, and don't bury your value prop in paragraph 3. And sixth, understand that consumers aren't anti-AI. They're anti-lazy marketing. If your emails feel like it was batch generated with no thought for who's receiving it, you'll lose trust fast. Use AI to be more relevant, not less human. Story 3 this week in marketing news, Apple and Google team up on AI. Apple and Google announced a multi-year partnership last week where Google Gemini AI will power the next generation of Siri launching later this year. Let me read the key line from their joint statement. After careful evaluation, Apple determined that Google's AI technology provides the most capable foundation for Apple foundation models. Translation, Apple spent 2 years trying to build their own AI that could compete with ChatGPT and Gemini. They couldn't get there. So they're paying Google an estimated $1 billion a year to license Gemini instead. This on top of the billions Google already pays Apple to be their default search engine on iPhones. These two companies have a complicated relationship. Here's what matters for marketers. The new Siri is expected to launch as early as this spring. According to the information, it'll be able to answer factual questions conversationally, understand personal context better, provide product recommendations, and handle complex multi-step tasks. It'll pull information from your mail, messages, and calendar to give you intelligent, personalized answers. This puts Google AI in front of hundreds of millions of iPhone users. When people ask Siri for product recommendations, local business suggestions, or shopping advice, they're getting AI-generated answers powered by Google models. And OpenAI just lost a major advantage. They had the ChatGPT integration with Apple, but now that Google's Gemini is the foundation, that changes everything. Apple says user privacy will be maintained because the AI runs on Apple devices and their private cloud compute infrastructure. Google supposedly doesn't get access to user data. We'll see how that works out in practice. But here's the bigger picture. This deal shows how quickly the landscape is shifting. Apple, a company famous for building everything in-house, couldn't build this fast enough, so they partnered with a competitor. Your marketing move? Mobile product discovery is about to fundamentally change. When the new Siri launches, users will be able to ask complex questions and get recommendations without ever opening a browser. Questions like, what's the best running shoe for under $150? Siri will answer that. It won't send them to Google. It won't send them to your website. It'll give them the answer. So here's what you need to do. First, make sure your product information is structured for AI to understand. That means clear product descriptions with specs, features, and benefits in the format AI can parse. Second, get reviews and ratings on platforms AI systems trust. Google pulls from authoritative sources like their own. If their product has strong reviews on major retail sites, industry publications, or trusted review platforms, you're more likely to be cited. Third, think about voice search optimization differently. People ask their phones questions in natural language. What's the best laptop for video editing? Not best video editing laptop 2026. So make sure your content answers questions the way people actually ask them. And fourth, understand that brand recognition matters more than ever. If consumers trust your brand, they're more likely to follow through when AI recommends it. If they've never heard of you, an AI recommendation probably won't be enough. Build brand awareness now while you still can. And our last story in marketing news this week, Apple Creator Studio lowers the bar. Apple launched Creator Studio last week. It's a subscription bundle that gives you 6 professional creative apps for $12.99 a month. Final Cut Pro, and Logic Pro for Mac and iPad. Pixelmator Pro, which Apple bought in 2024, is now on iPad for the first time. Motion for 2D and 3D effects, compressor for video encoding, and MainStage, which turns your Mac into a full instrument or voice processor. If you bought these apps separately, Final Cut Pro alone is $299. Logic Pro is $199. You're getting all 6 for $13 a month. If you're a college student or educator, it's $299 a month. Apple's also adding AI features across these apps. Final Cut Pro gets transcript search so you can find moments in the footage by searching for words. Visual search lets you describe what you're looking for. Logic Pro gets natural language search for sounds and a new chord ID feature. For the iWork apps, Pages, Keynote, Numbers, Creator Studio subscribers get premium templates, high-quality photos and graphics, and AI tools to generate presentation drafts from text outlines. The bundle launches January 28th with a 1-month free trial. Your marketing move? The barrier to creating professional quality video, audio, and visual content just dropped to basically nothing. That's good news if you're a small team or a solo marketer working with tight budgets, but it also means your competitors have access to the same tools. The differentiator isn't the equipment anymore. It's your strategy, your insights, your voice, and how you leverage AI. Everyone now has access to pro-grade editing software. Not everyone has something worth saying. Focus on substance, not just the production quality, because production quality is now table stakes. To recap this week's marketing news, Google is testing a change where clicking Show More in AI overviews pushes you into AI mode instead of showing web results. This could reduce clicks to websites by another 34% on top of existing losses, optimized for being cited by AI, not just ranked by Google. A consumer survey revealed that 67% of Gen Z check email multiple times a day. Emojis work better on iPhone than Android. FOMO subject lines increase open rates by 22%. And trying to use slang makes you look like AI wrote your content. Consumers will engage with AI-generated content if it's relevant. They'll ignore it if it's lazy. Apple and Google announced a multi-year deal where Gemini will power the next generation of Siri. This changes mobile product discovery for hundreds of millions of users. Get your brand and product structured for AI to understand and cite. And Apple launched Creator Studio, giving you 6 professional creative apps for $13 a month. The tools are now accessible to everyone. Your competitive advantage is what you create, not what you create it with. The theme this week? Consumers are getting more sophisticated. They'll tell you when your email was phoned in. They can feel when you're using AI as a shortcut instead of strategy. They reward authenticity and punish laziness. Make your content count, make it real, make it valuable. Your marketing move.